Blessings, beautiful souls. It's Jules, and I am beyond excited for our guest today. I mean, honestly, my heart is just opening up and I'm getting chills, and we have not even started. This has been an interview I've been looking forward to having and connecting. So I have Caroline Oceana Ryan with me today. And before we go into what we're going to talk about, I'm going to just have you introduce yourself, Caroline, and we'll go from there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jules. Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Oceana, and I've been a channeler probably most of my life. And then about 10 years ago, started bringing in this wonderful group of higher beings called the Collective. And they kind of came to me. I realized a lot, I was seeing all these channelings online, and I was sort of, wow, maybe I should do that because I've been channeling for myself for ages. And then they came in within a day and said, we have messages for light workers. Could you take those down and share them? And I said, yes. And then that grew into a book. And then I started doing sessions. So over the past 10 years, I've been doing a lot of that work with them, and that's continued. And now I'm branching out to channel other beings, other people, other beings as well. I've always been a writer and a peace activist for many, many years, and have had health issues to get over in life, and also very rough family situations. So my whole spiritual journey has been about sort of a very left turn from the very right-wing Protestant background that I had. Was given. It's about being honest about where you are and what you need to heal, and actually addressing that instead of trying to cover it up, doing what they call the spiritual bypass.
Mm.
So yeah, that's about it. I love creativity, and I love being in the moment, which if you've got trauma in your background can be a bit of a stretch sometimes, but we're all always learning to be in the moment and be fully in our bodies. And I'm very thankful for any step forward that way.
So beautiful. And I did see, if I remember right, that you have like 8 books that you've written. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yeah, that's
yeah.
just so
I think it's
crazy.
great.
So we'll have all of the information of how to get a hold of you personally with all the books that I'm sure they're all on your website. But I just thought that it's like, wow, I mean, just to write one book is a big deal, but you have written 8 books. So I think it's worth mentioning.
Well, that's sweet of you. I actually only wrote one, and all the rest were channeled, which is a little different than going in and researching like mad and writing and rewriting. I just like straightened out their spelling or punctuation or whatever. It still takes 3 or 4 months, but a lot easier than starting from scratch. Yeah.
Yes, I can resonate with that for sure. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening can as well. Well, let's dive in. So we're going to be talking about the gold frequencies that are activating the 12 strands of DNA, full body shells again. And I'm just going to turn it over to you and have you tell us a little bit about that, and we'll see where this goes.
Okay, thank you, Jules. Well, I was channeling about a year or so or more ago. I was channeling the book Messages from the Spirits of Abundance, and one of the chapters, which at the time was a bonus chapter, I'm going to weave it into the book as a whole from now on. But one of those chapters, what I do is I ask people send in a question, and that question, I ask my subscriber list, and that question then becomes the point of that chapter. So this question was, what is the divine purpose or divine role of gold upon the earth? And I was absolutely amazed at the answer. The Lords of Gold came in, and they explained about the pre-scientists in Egypt at the high point of that civilization, and that gold was used not only in pyramids, it's been used in many, many places to aid transmission of energies, and also for messages. It can assist in technologies that carry messages to people, to different civilizations, intergalactically. It's just an amazing presence. And then at one point in that chapter, they said that gold has its own energy, its own language. It's an energy language. And what I got recently was that it's not just sort of a language like what you and I are speaking now with individual words. It's made of tonal vibrations. And the pre-scientists of the great civilizations, such as Egypt at its high point, and Lemurian, Atlantis, etc., Sumeria, on and on, they knew how to speak to gold using these tonal vibrations, using these I guess, sing the tones, just do intonations. And that connected them to the resonance of gold and the consciousness of it. And there's so much, when we think of gold, we think, oh yeah, a gold object or jewelry. That's a very much vibrationally reduced form of gold. Gold in and of itself. Now, you know this because you're an alchemist, but gold in and of itself, if it's pure, has this powerful presence. It's so full of wisdom. It's a representation of divine love. It's so full of healing properties, as well as, yes, prospering properties. You've seen gold used a lot by people who love prosperity, and they'll use it in their homes or whatnot, or their businesses, and they're just thrilled with that. And I feel that it's best not to overuse it because it's a very powerful presence. And they point out as well, it's toxic to people of low intent. So even the alchemists of old had to be careful with what they were doing. And I tell this story about, I was in 7th grade science class one day when I was 12, and the teacher said, oh, the alchemists, if they'd found the cure to cancer, they'd have dumped it down the drain. All they cared about was turning base metals into gold. And the class just sort of laughed at that. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that isn't right at all. That's not true. And then I felt my alchemist friends come in from other lives, and they said, we would have been thrilled to have a cure to cancer. And it's very alive. And so I'll just briefly say, I'll give you a chance to jump in here, Jules, in this spiel, but I'll just briefly say, we've got this incredible light coming in from our sun, Sol, S-O-L. And that light is sort of lent on to us from originally the great central sun in this universe. And it's full of these golden properties, full of monoatomic gold dust, which is going into every particle of our being. And what's so beautiful is that despite all the madness we see on the earth right now, different forms of violence and upheaval and all this stuff going on, which is dreadful, and we have to be careful not to take in too much of that information, I feel, because it can lower our vibration. But despite all that madness that the old power crowd is putting up, all this light is pouring in and nothing can stop it. And every particle of that light speaks to every cell in our body, every particle of our spirit. It's absolutely amazing. It's healing, it's empowering. It certainly can be very prospering. It's waking us. I felt awakenings just within the past few months on a number of issues, including abundance, seeing old blocks just falling down. It's absolutely amazing. So the reason that I was led to create the 12-strand DNA Calling in the Power of the Gold Frequencies program is so people could follow these meditations that actually take you into the sun. And we're working inside these beautiful golden pyramids in the sun. All stars and planets are hollow. There's opening there. We've been lied to. The people who say, oh, it's all full of, hot lava. You don't want to go there. Within the sun of these beautiful pyramids, our 3 very great, amazing pyramids in Egypt, at Giza, were based on those pyramids in the sun. And when you step into the pyramid that's right for you, I let people choose which of the 3 pyramids they want to go in. They receive beautiful downloads, beautiful upliftment of energies and wisdom. They come into contact with pre-scientists, teachers, guides, elders they knew in other lives, and they reconnect. They reconnect with their golden dragon friend. They're always flying around inside these massive structures, and it's just a beautiful journey. So that's what I've been looking into lately. Yes.
So fascinating. Oh my gosh, like where do I go? Where do I go? I want to go back. I want to go back to the frequency of gold. And that I love that you say that it's alive, and I say it's conscious, right? And even beyond that, I think it's intelligent, and that we can use that intelligence to activate the DNA. So I want to talk a little bit about how that frequency is working on a DNA level. And how we can use the sun, if you will, if that's part of this. I guess I'll let you kind of take what I just said, and because I feel like you already have the answer, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn it back to you. What I see is, let's talk a little bit about the intelligence that it's holding, and then how we can use that intelligence to evolve.
Beautiful. So I've asked the gold frequencies to really speak with us today, and what they're telling us, what I'm hearing is that they're helping us recover aspects of our own powerful soul capability that we have lost over the centuries, over thousands of years, because our DNA was downgraded. And when that happens, when you come down to a two-strand DNA, you've come down to really probably the lowest consciousness possible to still be a human and walking around and using words and ideas, etc. And so the intelligence of these beautiful sparkling bits of light it's so astounding. It's a consciousness, this particular kind of consciousness. They're feeding me info here. A particular form of consciousness that awakens in us some very dim memory going back thousands of years of who we were, and then we begin to catch on to that memory and realize there's no such thing as time and space. That's a construct of the lower dimensions. And we can enter into the presence of the gold frequencies at any time and begin to recapture that timeless aspect of ourselves, which had incredible wisdom, incredible insight, and higher knowing, higher knowledge. And a lot of that is soul-based knowledge. And we fought for that over many lives. It's not something that is sort of there, but not really. It's always present. It's always with us, but we haven't always connected with it. And this is a sort of conductor. If there's an electrical charge to your soul and to its higher knowing, this light is the conductor that carries that charge into the body, into the higher mind and the heart mind, which is in the body. It's waking up. It's reconnecting with our everyday life. It doesn't feel always to be there, but it can be. And through that flow, through this sort of electric flow of energy, we begin to recapture who we are in a bigger way on the higher levels. So we can build up. What we do in this program is to bring in the energetic construct of the other 10 strands of DNA. So you might not, after you listen to the webinars, be walking around and go, oh yeah, I have 12 strands. It's physically present. Anybody could see it. But you have the energetics of it. And that's the energetics precede all outer manifestations at all times. So that's what I hear them saying as far as the intelligence goes. They're just waking up within us, things that we already knew, and on a higher level when we're traveling in our sleep state, etherically in spirit form. We're talking to our soul family. We're talking to the ascended masters and the archangels and working on the ships or various planets or star systems. All of that is there. It's all there.
It's so beautiful. So, okay, so there's a couple things. Let me see if I can reconnect. Okay, so this, I don't know why this is what popping into my head, because this was a kind of pre-interview conversation that we had, but I'm getting to tune into the monoatomic element of this.
Mm.
And the reason why is that it's transitional, and it's a transitional element, and it's also in form and spirit at the same time, which is a big part of transitioning into the multidimensional body, or the experience of who we are beyond that two strands, right? And I think that's what I'm so fascinated about. And that is definitely what propels me to keep going, is that once you're activated, you can't stop, right? It's like that propulsion of moving forward into those higher levels is there. But I do feel like there's that monoatomic element of gold is holding that form and spirit, that it's alive and conscious. So I want to talk just a little bit about, I guess, how we can connect to this experience consciously so that we're aware of the transition in itself.
Mm. Well, really, all you have to do is call in these beautiful frequencies and say, I'd like to dance with you. I'd like to know who you are. I'd like to consciously draw more of your beautiful presence into my life in ways that, I mean, it's there, but you want to feel it. You want to really fully experience it. And sometimes I just image all these beautiful bits of gold dust just flowing down. And you can almost, I have a friend who can actually, he just has special sight, but he can actually see them gathering in his hand, like tiny specks of, rain or snow. And just image that. And if you're not good at imaging, when I'm channeling, the collective always say, just kind of move your hands to indicate, metaphorically, yes, I'm receiving this now, going into every single cell, every bit of my spirit as well, every particle, every energetic bit of vibrancy and energetic force frequency that I have. In other words, the force field, the energy force field from which we create. And everybody's in that quantum field. You can't miss. You can't avoid all this light coming in, but to work with them consciously is to sort of develop a connection to them, kind of like making them your friend, making them your mentor and your guide. And speaking to the gold frequencies to say, I would like more illumination in this area of my life, more in this area, or this situation, or this relationship. And as you're calling that in, you're asking for their wisdom to flow through you in very easy terms. Now, to just say that in the morning is wonderful. I find it very, very helpful to go into meditation where you're really speaking with it and you're not so caught up in the day-to-day tasks and duties and the to-do list, but you've given yourself a time out where you're just breathing. You're absolutely just breathing in this beautiful light, and you're letting them know, I would love for my heart to get more open. I would love for this aging process, say at my age, that's something we think about, to release, and that I start youthening instead of aging. I would love to have a complete abundance, consciousness, and more, even more than all those lovely gifts, I would like to feel fully empowered and know my true self and just feel my soul's power pouring through me. And as you're in that meditation and you're in one of the pyramids, or however you choose to connect with these lovely frequencies, you're calling to them in ways that are going to open up for you and reveal to you blockages in your own consciousness. And so this is why in these guided meditations I do, we meet with beautiful elders and teachers and healers and mentors and guides. Many of them we've known before, some of them are new, and we ask that they assist, and they might touch us lightly in the third eye chakra or the crown chakra, the heart, what have you. And in those moments, they're removing false constructs. And this isn't to say that there are a bunch of light workers out there pretending to be something that are not. Over hundreds and hundreds of earth lives, we have created a false self purely to survive, purely to make it through 3D. Because if we walked around as our enlightened selves, well, you saw what happened over several centuries when people were burnt at the stake or hanged or imprisoned, and certainly at the very least chucked out of the village because where they were was too far ahead for organized religion and everybody else. So we have hidden who we are for many, many centuries, and now we can come back into connection with that. But it's just a question of, again, if you can't image, kind of move your hands so as to say, yes, that beautiful wisdom and that inner knowing is flowing through my crown chakra, and it's informing every single area of my life, every decision I make, every word I speak, every thought I have. And anybody who can't vibrate with that beautiful higher frequency, who's hanging around me etherically or sitting in my energies or interfering ancestors, you're going to have to move on because I'm moving up. So,
Clean out the closet.
yeah,
I love
exactly.
that. I love that. I know we always have to have fun with it, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
would you be interested in doing a process so that
sure.
people can I always find that's so much more powerful than talking about it, is letting people have the experience of the frequency.
Absolutely, of course. Um, so we'll just travel up into the sun. We'll go into meditation, and we're going to ask for two things. One, that we release something we've been carrying, which really isn't ours. or if we created it accidentally for survival or what have you, self-protection, that it be lovingly, easingly released from us. And then we're going to ask also for some higher level of wisdom in some area of our lives that we really need that assistance with. And people can ask for a specific area or just leave it up to your guides and higher self. So right now, wonderful. I'm going to just bring in the collective. Just everybody, if you can go into your breathing in through the nose with mouth closed, very slowly and fully. And when you're ready, out through the open mouth, slowly releasing with kind of a ha sound. If you've been under terrible stress, out through puckered lips like you were whistling or breathing out through a tiny straw. And that helps a lot, puts you in that parasympathetic nervous system state. So just carry on with that breathing for a bit. And I'll bring the collective in now. Oh, greetings, dear ones. We are very pleased to have this time to speak with you today. And so wonderful. Let's just image, or as our writer was saying, if you can't image, move your hands to indicate that you're in a beautiful, huge pillar of sparkling divine golden light. Just sparkling bits of light, little pinpoints of light. And that pillar can be as big as the room you're in or big as whatever home or building you're in. This is fine. And you're just going to travel inwardly up that beautiful pillar of light. And your inner self is flowing easily now up that pillar. And we're heading out of Earth's atmosphere. And we see the sun in front of us. It is immense. It is huge. And of course, there's no worry about the corona being very hot because we're in spirit form. And going closer and closer. And now we see a portal opening in that sun. And we are encouraged to flow into it. You might see ships coming in or out of that portal. The sun is a sort of stargate. Many ships now coming out from this and other galaxies to assist Earth at this time. Just flow in through that portal. We're going to go into the interior of the sun itself. Wonderful. Until you see before you 3 golden pyramids. The sun is full of these absolutely beautiful structures, temples of healing, fountains, crystalline energy pouring from them. But you're going to stop in front of these 3 massive golden pyramids now. And one of these pyramids in particular, you're going to feel drawn to. You're going to automatically go there. You can't get it wrong. So just let yourself go ahead and move into one of those pyramids. The doors open automatically and easily. You are welcome here. And now we're entering the massive structure of the pyramid you've chosen. And it is huge. You'll see these beautiful golden dragons flying very high near the apex of the pyramid. You'll see beautiful structures all around you. Now, on the walls of that pyramid, there are very beautiful, special symbols that doesn't have to look like they're hieroglyphics or anything you would see in Egypt. It might not. Some of it might look like an equation or just a simple geometric symbol or a sacred geometric symbol. Any of it is fine that you see. And we want you to go up to the interior wall at your nearest. There's a beautiful symbol there for you, and just place your hand on that symbol, and you're going to receive an amazing download of not only information, but energetic support that you have been asking for in your etheric state as you speak with your spirit team and your lovely soul group, soul family at night. And put your hand there and just receive. And you may or may not feel something as a result. That's all right. You might want to breathe in deeply again. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out anything that might try to argue with or refuse to accept this beautiful gift. And we're working with all of you as well. Letting the subconscious know this is safe, all is well, no need for self-protection here. Wonderful, dear ones. And now let's just walk further toward the center of the pyramid. And you will see a beautiful pool of pure liquid gold. And just sit next to that pool or crouch down beside it and dip your hands in that pool. Perhaps touch your face with some of that beautiful liquid gold. It's sparkling. And as you're doing that, you're realizing this is alive. This gold is speaking to me. Maybe touch your heart space. Now you realize this is an old friend that you've spoken with before. And you give thanks for this. And perhaps touch the eyelids with the gold so that you are seeing more clearly in the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, so that you are receiving higher wisdom. And you're full of thanks for this moment because it's answering things you didn't even know you were asking. Wonderful. And so now as you stand, you see a beautiful being coming toward you. This is a goddess, and she is just glowing with the gold frequencies. It's just astounding, the beauty of them. And even if you find it hard to see her face, you know that she is full of love, nothing but love shining from her eyes and her beautiful smile. Wonderful. She steps toward you, dear ones. She's going to lightly touch you, probably on the third eye, the heart space. Just see what happens there. The crown chakra. If something is going on with you physically, you can request assistance for that. If you've got things in your life you really want to release, maybe old associations, old habits, objects, a particular job or living space that doesn't suit you anymore, could be added body weight you really don't need. Whatever it is, an illness, say to this dear one, I request your kind assistance with this issue, if you would, Lady Master, and then present the issue, whatever it is. And speak your willingness to do what is needed, to heed those inner nudges, little bits of signs and signals that come to you during the day, that leap out at you, that give you answers, that lead you on the way. Signal the openness you have to accepting the higher path for this issue. And just breathe out. You're willing to release this. Now, as this wonderful being, this beautiful goddess is working with you, you may see a wonderful guide. Might look like an elderly person in robes, maybe a bit like Gandalf, or there could be female. But this is someone you know. This is someone you've spoken with many times. And they step forward, as this beautiful elder does, not really aged, and yet you sense that their soul is highly, highly advanced. And they step forward, and they take your hand, and they are just pointing with their fingertip in the center of the palm. And from that, concentric circles of pure gold are emanating. And all of that flowing through your body, certainly affecting the DNA, awakening those dormant strands, reconstructing the energetic element of them so they once again exist, and connecting you to your own soul power and soul knowing. Wonderful, dear ones. So thank these dear ones for their assistance. Thank this pool of gold and all of the symbols on the walls, your golden dragon friend who is here. Thank all present. And when you're ready, we're going to just leave this lovely golden pyramid. You sense the aliveness of every particle of this structure. And come back out through the portal, out of the sun, down that beautiful pillar of divine sparkling golden light. Something profound has changed in you. Be glad of that. Be thankful for that. Appreciate yourself for having the courage to make this journey. And come back down fully into the room, fully back into your body again, stretching arms and legs, hands and feet. Come back fully, dear ones. Wonderful. Many thanks, much love, and many blessings. We'll bring our writer back now. Namaste.
Beautiful, Caroline. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. It was very visual for me, and as well as I could feel it. And you know what was interesting is when the symbol came up, it was an equation, and I could feel my mind coming in going, don't forget it, don't forget it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I let myself surrender and just move back into the intelligence that was kind of directing. And what's interesting is that I completely forgot about it. And that's the first thing when I came back to was it came back. And
Yeah, you're
and I
good.
know which is really interesting. So that's what I will be researching when we're done is, ooh, I'm going to see
Okay.
what that equation is, because that's actually one of the first channelings I got was the equation for the alchemy of Ormus or monoatomic gold.
Oh, excellent. That's right. You
Yeah.
have an ornament product. Oh,
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
that's how I was given the recipe was through, I guess they're not called equations. I was corrected on that with Dave Asprey. It was their, and I can't even remember, chemical equations, I guess, is what it
Yeah,
is. I don't know.
yeah, I know what you mean, like sort of their elemental construct or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was really fun. I definitely could feel also in the pyramid structure was that kind of Egyptian energy. I don't know if you call it an energy, but for me it feels intelligent. So when I say
Yeah.
frequency or energy, it's alive and it has something to say, and I can really feel the intelligence behind that, which I can actually still feel it in my body, and it feels really nice. So thank you.
That's so great. And you're talking about remembering the equation. People tell me that immediately they come back down to earth, they draw the symbol they saw or write out the equation, which I love. I absolutely love that. I say, good for you. Brilliant. And right now, like I'm still seeing that sparkling bits of light because the gold dust is all through these pyramids. It's just everywhere. So it's a fun journey to take. We take different ones with the program, but yeah.
Well, I love that. So now everybody has a little bit of an experience of what this journey could be like and what they can bring back and
Oh,
have a lot
yeah.
of fun with the ascension process. I absolutely love it. Well, Caroline, is there anything that we have? I just feel like the experience is always the icing on the cake, right? That's what is most moving in this. And I feel as we continue to evolve as well, that feeling frequency and experience is where we're all moving to. And it's almost when we have to go back to the words, it's like, really, we have to go back to the words. Like, let's move back into the
Mm,
frequency. There'll be a time where we don't have to talk at all and we're just
yeah, true.
transmitting the frequency. But because we are still in words, I'm going to invite you if there's something that you would like to say that I haven't either asked you or you feel is important to share.
Mainly that, thank you so much, and you're so sweet to honor the gold frequencies and to invite me on. I really appreciate it, and the collective as well send their thanks. But mainly, I would just say, that whatever you experience in these journeys, such as this, there's a free meditation journey I've included on the gold frequencies page on my website, which I think you'll link to. Whatever you experience is fine. Please don't grade yourself, is what I would say to people. Don't say, oh, I didn't feel very elevated, or I didn't feel anything special happening. Your spirit is so alive and so phenomenal. Just because you and I have been dulled by the wrong kind of education, you might say, and being separated from nature and eating highly processed foods and kind of, constricted by all that. That doesn't mean your soul isn't incredibly powerful. And so is your inner spirit that you have in your body and your heart mind. And it's picking up so much that probably our conscious minds just don't quite clock, So I would just say, give yourself a chance to experience this, make the gold frequencies your friend and mentor, and just allow them to support you in really beautiful ways, because that's where we are right now. It's flowing onto the earth. It's not going to stop. These energies are only ever going to reach higher. You notice the Schumann resonance, the earth's hertz frequency, it keeps going higher. Okay, we're in an ascension process here. So that's just going to keep happening. And I'm thrilled. And thank you again for allowing this time, because it is a bit of a stretch. It is people going through a lot. They feel exhausted from the energies coming in and all the shifts, and they feel the pressures of the world. And meanwhile, you still got to go out and earn your living, kind of a deal, quote unquote. And yet our hearts can open to incredible joy, and real changes can be made in our lives that let in more joyful processes. So just hold open the door for that, I would say.
Absolutely love that. Yeah, I have a saying that as the DNA awakens and activates, that our consciousness is the last part that actually understands what's
Yeah,
happening, because it's
yeah,
so
exactly.
above what we can understand with our mind. And even on a conscious level, like, even no matter how high we can go consciously, this is so much higher than that even. And so just give yourself a break, just know that it's happening, and there will be a day where we'll hit it 100% and we'll understand what this is all about. But until then, enjoy the ride and have fun with it. And that's always so important. That's what I loved about your process as well, is that it was a lot of fun and it was very enjoyable. And I could feel that joy energy, it not only exuding through you and the collective, but also in my own heart space, which was really beautiful. So thank you for that gift.
Oh, wonderful. It is fun. There's a point at which the golden dragon, your own golden dragon, lands in the floor of the pyramid, and you get on their neck and go and have a ride with them. It's good fun. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I love it so much. Well, Caroline, this has been so amazing. And I just want to honor you in from my heart to your heart. This has been amazing. And I can feel everybody lighting up, and their little gold hearts are definitely shining. And I guess that's all I have. We'll put the link to get to your free offering, as well as your website and the program that you're offering. Anything else?
No, just thank you for everything you're doing. It's highly evolved work that you're doing, but here we are, we're rolling into it. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're doing everything you're doing. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Right
Thank you
back
to
at
everyone.
you, sister. And we will just let you all go and feel these warm, beautiful golden frequencies as they are activating in your DNA, and go explore with curiosity what these activations will bring to you within your life. We're sending you so much love and a big hug until we meet again.